Today on the podcast, we're talking obstacle course racing, KCOCR, and even more crazy acronyms. This is the Kansas City Podcast. Welcome to the Kansas City Podcast. My name is Cole Limberg. I am your host with the most, but I don't mean to boast. You know, many of you know me from a little TV show called Game of Thrones, where I play a dragon. And if not, it's nice to meet you. You know, each week here on the Kansas City Podcast, we are joined by a one-of-a-kind Kansas City native for a conversation on life in the city of fountains. And you know what? It's a bonus episode today, and it's not just one Kansas City native, it's two. We got two people here today. We're going to talk about a lot of interesting things. I am sitting right now in the middle of a gym. I am at Apex Climbing Gym. What's the address of this place?
Oh, of course. We prepared all these answers.
Well,
and that's the one we don't have.
It's something of a Metcalf.
We'll get it for you. 435 in Metcalf. 435 in Metcalf.
And I'm sitting, in the background behind me is, the warped wall, and there's all these that's the salmon ladder, right? The
Correct.
salmon ladder. There are all these implements of destruction that I know I would immediately kill myself if I jumped on. I am joined today by, do we have the address? Here it is. Great. 7200 West 106th Street in Overland Park, the Apex Climbing Gym. I am joined today by two guests in the Kansas City OCR community. We'll talk about OCR a little bit more here in a minute if you don't know what that is. I am joined today by he's the member of the Conquer the Gauntlet Pro Team. He's an obstacle course racer and the founder of KCOCR, Lucas Pfannenstiel. I got it right.
Awesome, man.
All right.
Great work.
And then I am also joined by the street team captain of KC for Conquer the Gauntlet, Steve Richardson. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Very well. Let's make sure people know who you are. So, Lucas, say hello.
All right, this is Lucas Pfannenstiel. Hello, everyone.
There you go. And this is Steve over here.
Steve Richardson.
Very nice. All right, gentlemen, we are at Apex Climbing Gym today. We've got a lot we need to talk about. But first, I want to let's just do the basics, okay? What is OCR? What is the basics? Break it down so people know what we are talking about today.
Awesome. So OCR stands for Obstacle Course Racing. And this came out around the 2009, 2010 timeframe. You probably heard some of the more familiar names, Warrior Dash, Tough Mudder, Spartan. Those were kind of the original OCR companies to start in the community. I think that's been everybody's first. Since then, there's been a lot of companies that have kind of grown and really come
there's
out
some
of
on
that
TV
initial
now
class.
too. There's
absolutely,
some, yeah.
Absolutely. So you got the Spartan Ultimate Team Challenge on TV. There was an old company called Battle Frog that had some TV appearances. Tough Mudder is now on TV. OCR is a formula of American Ninja Warrior as well, and that's very popular on TV.
Oh, yeah. I was watching American Ninja Warrior with my wife the other night, and she immediately said, I think these people have devil magic.
It's interesting. I actually got to compete in American Ninja Warrior in Kansas City this year, and if anybody that's listening to this got to go out there, they will obviously attest to this, that it was larger than life.
Yeah.
I know Steve was out there, and it's just so cool. And, you get to see it on TV, but you don't realize the magnitude of it until you're there. And getting able to compete in it and being on top when the lights are on and the cameras are on. And I didn't get to run until 5 in the morning. It was
you didn't get to run until 5 in the morning?
I got there at 9 o'clock at night and had to wait until 5 in the morning to compete.
So you were probably just waiting around for a real long period of time. So you're trying to keep yourself hyped up and stretched out, right?
Yeah, man, it was intense. I had to force myself to sit down just because you wanted to interact with the fans. You wanted to watch people compete and race, and it was just high energy for all night. But so that's kind of how obstacle course racing came about, and we're real excited to grow that here in Kansas City. So
what is the Kansas City scene like now? I mean, what do we got?
So around Kansas City right now, you've got races that'll come in. You'll have Warrior Dash, like Lucas mentioned. You have Rugged Maniac, which is coming up on September 9th. You'll have a Conquer the Gauntlet XTC Mega OCR, which is going to be September 30th.
Okay, now that sounds incredible. With a name like Conquer the Gauntlet, XTC Mega OCR. You have to explain more to this. What the hell does that even mean?
Okay.
There's a lot of acronyms there.
There are, yeah, that's true.
And I feel like LMAFO. What are you talking about?
That's great.
Yeah, you sound like me with my kids trying to decipher what their text means sometimes. So when I say CTG-XTC, it's Conquer the Gauntlet Extreme Timber Challenge. So they're two separate races. Conquer the Gauntlet is a race series. As you heard, Lucas is a pro team team member of. I am a street team member of, and they do 9 independent races across the Midwest. So anywhere from Iowa, Kansas, so they have Wichita, they have Oklahoma, they have Arkansas, they have some down in Texas. So right here where we're centrally located, theirs is a 4-mile, 25 obstacle race course, which is really good. And I will tell you, if you want a challenge, that's one you want to go out to.
Well, sounds like a hell of a challenge.
It's a blast. Then you have your local obstacle course racing company, which is XTC, or the Timber Challenge. So they put on.
And that's in Bonner Springs.
That's
right?
in Bonner Springs, Kansas. Yes. So they put on a lot of local races during the year. They'll have family races. They'll have a Yeti race. So they'll have one actually in the middle of winter.
Oh, okay. All right. I was wondering. I was getting ready to ask what the hell a Yeti race was.
Yeah. So theirs will actually be in the middle of winter. So if you like a little cold weather running, I think I'm better at cold weather running than I am hot weather running. I'd rather be cold than hot.
And especially like running in Kansas City with the humidity and everything, I can imagine.
110, 115 degree heat index. Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. So.
Yeah, so the Kansas City Timber Challenge is a local permanent course.
Okay.
And so they just had a 5K out there this last weekend, or a couple weekends ago in August. And their next events is the combined CTG-XTC, as Steve said, on September 30th. And they also have a family event on October 22nd.
Very nice.
So the regular events, I think, are typically, I forget the age range, but most of the time it's 14 or 16 years of age and older to run the big course. A lot of the events, Conquer the Gauntlet as well, have kids courses. So anywhere from 4 to 12-year-olds can run those kids courses, which is a shorter miniature version. But on October 22nd, Kansas City Timber Challenge actually puts on a family event, myself and my family, so everybody can go out there. It's usually a 2 to 3 mile race, 15 to 20 obstacles, and just a lot of fun for the families that actually get out there and enjoy together.
Very cool. All right, so let's talk about, I imagine that's because when I hear let's see here, when I hear a giant acronym-filled name like Mega I can't even think of it, Mega OCR event, what you said there were 25 obstacles at the big one. Is that right?
Actually, at the big one, there are, I believe, 65 is the number that is there. And that is, and I will tell you, it all depends on your definition of the word obstacle.
Okay.
Those are legitimate obstacles. So last year when we went out and counted, if you include other things, and to the extent of like jumping over creeks, jumping over giant logs that are in your way, things of that nature, there were upwards of around 100.
Really?
So some of them can be one's as neat as going up and down a bus. So they'll actually have a bus that is inverted on the side of a hill that you get to go down, and then you go around for about another half mile to a mile, and you get to go up another bus. So you actually get to climb the inside of the bus. Later on, you'll actually go over the top of the bus with a net. So stuff that's easy to almost...
Where did they come up with this stuff?
I know, it's
crazy.
so inventive.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And since we're sitting here at Apex, if you look behind you, what you want to imagine is a staircase. So one of Conquer the Gauntlet's obstacles that they are famous for, it's called Stairway to Heaven. So basically what you do is you climb up the inside of a staircase, essentially,
like
stairs.
The opposite side of the stairs.
The opposite side of the stairs. And then they'll actually have it where you cross over to the other side and go down those stairs. So that's one that is... Conquer the Gauntlet's had a lot of fun with that. It's usually over water. So if you fall, you get a nice little cool-off session.
That's where I would be immediately. Jump on and then splash.
Yeah. We talk about those heats. A lot of these races are run in the middle of summer, so it's not bad when you fall in the water because it's around 100 degrees when you're outside running. And there are times when you go, maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I fell into this and actually hit a little bit of water.
It definitely helps you cool off, that's for sure.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
What, so as you're saying all this right now, the immediately thing that I think of is I go, I am so not prepared to go do something like this. What would you say to those folks that are interested in maybe doing this for the first time or maybe have never done anything like this before? I mean, how do you get people involved in this out there that are maybe even afraid to do something like this? Because I can imagine climbing up a bus, the inside of a bus. I think the first thing to go through my mind is like, I think I can do this, but I'm scared shitless. What am I going to do?
Cole, that's an amazing question. You're exactly right because that's exactly what are going through people's heads. So, when we talk about all these obstacle course races, Warrior Dash was one of the first, and it's one of the most popular out there. And the reason it is because it's only 3 miles. and it's only 10 to 12 obstacles. And when I say only, I don't mean that's a major accomplishment, but most of their 10 to 12 obstacles are pretty simple obstacles. So you just have jumping over a fire pit, crawling through mud underneath barbed wires, jumping over a 6-foot wall, some simpler type of stuff. And as you go to different race series, there's Rugged Maniac, which is actually going to be here September 9th out at Snow Creek. The obstacles get a little bit tougher. And then when you get to Conquer the Gauntlet, they get a little bit tougher. But that's why we started Kansas City Obstacle Course Racing Group.
So the KCOCR group.
Yep, that started in January of 2016 and just started small, and we've just really tried to get out there to reach the masses, mainly for that reason. People see
to get
this,
people involved.
To get people involved.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Here in Kansas City, we want that healthier lifestyle. We want people not to be afraid. We want people to get out off their couches, go have some fun. And that's the mixture, right? You start with the 5K, it's just flat road running. Right. Well, let's throw some obstacles in, right? Let's change it up while we run. Let's, get off of the streets and let's go get on the trails. Let's go get out in the countryside and let's go try something different. And so when we started this group, it was just to help people know that they're not alone. And that's really what we want to get across today is there's people out here that do this in all skills, all levels. And we train together quite a bit, and we'll hopefully talk about that here in a little bit. But we get a lot of training sessions. So
let's talk about it right now. Like,
yeah.
you train. Dude, you guys are built like massive human beings. I mean, not so much. Like,
Thank you.
I assume I'm being very, whatever. You're obviously training more than I am, but that's because I can barely run a mile without dying. Tell me about the training. Tell me about what you guys do. I mean, eating right, going in, training. We're sitting here in this gym. I'm sure you come here all the time and climb the walls. I mean, what's the deal?
Okay, so
it's a discipline, is what it is, right?
Absolutely.
It is, but it also depends. Kind of what Lucas was saying. We have all skill levels. I mean, we have our youngest members. 13.
So I'd be okay.
You'd be perfectly. Actually, you'd probably do a lot better than you would think.
Probably surprise yourself.
I'll kind of back up just a hair real quick, and I'll touch on your points. But the one thing a lot of people get scared of is they're like, man, I can't run a 5K.
Right.
I will tell you, even the elites, and Lucas can attest to this, some of the races, they're not even running the entire time.
Yeah.
So a lot of people will get out there, and they may have a 3 or 4 mile course that they're going to go out and technically, we'll say, air quotation marks, run, but you're going to walk it. You can jog it if you want. If you want to sprint it, you can. You're a much better person than I would be. I can't sprint the whole 4 or 5 miles. But the other good part about it is it's a community. So even if there's obstacles that you can't do, we're actually standing in front of a warped wall right now. If you couldn't get up that warped wall, you have 4 or 5, maybe 10 other people. Maybe 1 or 2 people at the top helping you get up there, and then people at the bottom that would help you get up it as well. So some of the obstacles that you maybe couldn't do on your own, it's a community thing. And that's kind of why Lucas started KCOCR, is because once you get out there and you see that, you'll see Lucas will do extra laps. I'll do extra laps. And my favorite time isn't necessarily when I'm running in an elite wave for time. Yeah. It's that second and third lap when I get to go out and help people up the wall, find out about their story, see why are you out here? Hey, a lot of it is, hey, I've lost some weight. Some friends said I should try this. How do I keep the weight off?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? It's not just about going to a gym and lifting. It's not just about running. There's a lot of different things which will get you into the workout aspect of it.
Yeah.
So normally what we've done, and this is something we've tried to perfect a little bit over the course of the last year and a half or so, we've got about a 60-minute workout that we do,
okay,
for the most part. So this is our Saturday workout that we have usually at 8 o'clock somewhere in the Kansas or Missouri side of Kansas City, because we've been alternating back and forth, so it's not in the same location. So if you live on the west side of Kansas City, we'll be out near the west. If you're in the central part of Kansas City, we're in the central part. If you're as far out as Lee Summit and Blue Springs, we actually have practices out there. So what we'll do is we'll start with a 15 to 20-minute warm-up run, and we'll have different skill levels. So we'll, for example, one of the last ones we did, we had a fast, a medium, and then a regular pace. And then we had people run with those groups throughout. And if you want to go faster, you can. If you want to go slower, you can. But it gives everybody a chance to kind of run together.
So it's very supportive, and not only that, you're trying to open it up to everybody of all skill levels. Doesn't not matter whether you've done this before, or you've been doing this for several years. I mean, you want everybody to come out and experience it, give it a try.
Yep, and we've got 5-minute milers, and we have 25-minute milers, and we accommodate everybody in between there. So even if you're a 25-minute miler, which we've had those that run with us, I'll stay back and run with you because my thing is I don't want you to be on your own. Lucas will do the same thing. We'll have a conversation ahead of time. Okay, who's going to run with what group so nobody's left on their own? Because we want somebody that has been here and done this before to make sure that that person continues on their journey.
Yeah.
We know not everybody's on the same skill level, but we want to at least get you to your journey and get you so that you feel comfortable and you have a good time while you're doing it.
Yeah, and this group's all about helping each other out, and that's what makes it amazing is we're here for each other, not only on race day, going through obstacles, but in practices, training, and that's why we started our Facebook group so you can ask questions. What shoes do I wear? What do I eat before a workout? When's the next workout? And like Steve said, we're all around the city, so there might be a Saturday morning where you're out in Blue Springs, and you can't make it. It's an hour drive. You've got family events. We get that. We want to provide as many opportunities as we can. We have a lot of set workouts throughout the week, and we're continuing to grow them. We come to Apex Mondays at noon. So if you can take a long lunch break, we're here Mondays at noon. We've got Friday morning runnings at Wyandotte County Park. We've got Saturdays, throughout the city. We've got Sunday mornings at Wyandotte County Park, and we're growing. We're partnering with gyms around the city, and we're just trying to find a reach for everybody, and it's been a really fun partnership.
That's awesome. Okay, switching gears for a minute. That's because we are in the shadow of the warped wall. What is the scariest obstacle you've ever done? Scariest one you can think of that you've had to conquer?
I'll go first because
All right.
It's not something that you would think would be scary for some people.
Does it involve fire?
No, fire doesn't scare me
okay.
at all. I am claustrophobic.
Oh, okay.
And when it comes to heights as well, it kind of takes me a second. So anything where you're in a confined space.
Okay.
Crawling.
I think at one time when I did a race once, it was like crawling under like a sewer. It was like crawling under like this little bridge in the park, and it was like this little tiny tube, and I'm like, oh, what the hell am I doing, man? This is bad.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So those are the kind of things that get me, and that's more of a mental thing, which helps because you can do it. It's just, okay, now I got to suck it up, get the guts in me, and just do it. And I think that's part of obstacle course racing and what we do in general is, hey, you can do it. Just give yourself that confidence that you can. So those are the kind of things that get me. Anytime I come to an obstacle, I actually love obstacles that are hard. The harder, the better for me because if I can't do it, all I'm going to do is train until I can do it. But that for me, that's what it is. It's those things where anything in a confined space, nope,
Yeah, there's a lot out there. You've got the really super high ones where you might be 20, 30 foot off the ground, where you've got to jump into a water pit, or you've got to slide down a slide. You've got, some of the really cold ones where they dump it full of ice, and you've got to jump into, just ice, and it just shocks your body.
Yeah.
But, for me, it's kind of funny. There's an obstacle called Pegatron, which is at Conquer the Gauntlet, and they have one here in Apex Climbing Gym. So basically it's a pegboard that goes horizontal. Mm-hmm. So you got about a 4-foot pattern or 4-foot start where you can use your feet and your leg and your hands, and then all the feet goes away and you got to traverse sideways with just your hands on the pegboard. And I know a lot of people have seen American Ninja Warrior. When the pegboard first came out, it was all vertical. They came and went horizontal and just really changed things up.
Yeah.
So the reason it gets so scary is where's it going to be in a race?
Right.
What's your heart rate going to be? How wet are your hands going to be? How much you have left?
Yeah.
But it's a real mental killer, and that's why these obstacle races are amazing because not only is it physical, but it's mental. You got to be mentally strong in order to help battle through some of these things.
So can you conquer the pegboard now?
Cole, that's an amazing question.
Boom,
Yes, I would say this year I have been successful in all 3 Conquer the Gauntlet races in passing the pegboard.
Well, because you are a pro, so you get to go around and travel and do this all over the place, right?
I am super lucky that I get to travel around the country and race.
That's awesome.
Yeah, last year I think I hit about 12 to 15 races up, including the World Championships in Canada, Blue Mountain, Canada, which was pretty darn cool. This year with family schedule and a couple other opportunities such as American Ninja Warrior, and then another television show on CMT, Broken Skull Challenge, that I was able to be a part of.
Oh, with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
With Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I'm going to have to watch that.
Yeah, so
quick question. Did Stone Cold open up a can of whoop-ass on you?
Get
out there, boy. Get in that pit.
I thought we were going to have a beer party. I thought there'd just be beer cans everywhere, and we'd be cracking them open and throwing them, but there was no beer on the set.
Oh, that's no Broken Skull IPA?
I know, right? But he was the coolest guy, and he's so big. I mean, the guy's just he's just a huge dude, but very, very cool. But this year I've only been able to run 5 races, but I've got 3 more in September and a couple more throughout the year. So it's one heck of a sport.
It sounds like it. The ability to go around, the ability to it always seems to me that, when those shows are on, when you see one of those shows where it's like a physical challenge show, I always stop. I always stop the channel. I always stop and take a look, because you're always interested in seeing, like, what crazy apparatus or what crazy new thing are they going to come up with next. And it also takes me back to thinking about, do you guys remember the MXC, like Maximum Extreme Challenge, that was on like Spike TV, where it was like the old Japanese, like there was the old like Ninja,
absolutely,
like Takeshi's Castle or something like that, and like the boulders were coming down the hill. And so like I'm wondering, like, when is it ever going to reach that point where they go so big or so ridiculous that it's just kind of, because do you think they want you to complete? That's the thing. Like, sometimes I see like American Ninja Warrior or some of those old like Ninja Warrior ones they used to play on Spike TV, and you're like, there's no way they want you guys to finish this. You're climbing to the top of Mount Midoriyama. No way they want you to get to the top.
They definitely want a failure rate. You're exactly right.
Because there's only been so many winners, right?
In American Ninja Warrior, there's only been 2 guys that have ever completed it, and it happened to be on the same episode. So there's truly only one winner.
Oh wow!
And this is the 9th season, and we're kind of going through the 9th season right now. So we'll see if anybody gets it this year.
But they don't want you to win.
When I competed on the show, they actually stated we need a certain failure rate.
Oh,
and
really?
I think in our episode there were only 9 people that actually made it up the warp wall.
Yeah.
Out of the 117 that got to compete. So yeah, absolutely they want a failure. But failure makes TV, right?
Right.
I mean if everybody went up there and just
story.
made it look easy, then nobody watch it. So just
that kid doesn't look like he get up the wall, and he got up just fine. What the hell's going on?
Exactly. But with obstacle course races, that's the challenge you mentioned earlier. What's the newest invention? Everybody's trying to be innovative.
Yeah.
Tough Mudder is well renowned for their innovation in obstacles, big and just huge obstacles, and I think that's kind of the thing is everybody's looking for their staple of an obstacle. Bigger is better.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's why Conquer the Gauntlet has set themselves apart with their Pegatron, with their Stairway to Heaven. They've implemented a slack line now. I think it's 19-foot slack line and some balance, which really makes people struggle. And it's not about failure. It's really about just making yourself better.
Yeah.
I mean, challenging yourself. Steve's exactly right where he said if we fail, all it makes us do is work harder. My wife has been pretty upset at times with my obstacle course racing career because my garage has now turned into a training gym. Ninja Warrior, every obstacle that I've ever failed, I've built in my garage so that way I can train on it and never fail again. And I know a lot of these guys.
So you can't park your car in there anymore.
Oh, it's nuts. Yeah, and Steve carries around a training bag in his car every day.
Really?
I mean, it's
Yeah, I can turn any jungle gym into a training facility, and I do. Like we were talking about training. What we do for our Saturday workouts, that's part of it. We'll go to a gym, or not a gym, we'll go to a park. As long as they have a kids' playground, I can turn it into, there's a rig that most places have. Like Spartan will have one, Conquer the Gauntlet will have one, where basically there's different attachments that you have to swing from one to the other. And I have a lot of those that I can easily attach to any set of monkey bars or any bar or anything. And you can kind of do that. I also carry around a slack line. There's just all sorts of different, items that I have in my little gym bag.
Any chance you get to basically turn some type of playground or monument or wherever the hell you're at, you're going to go and make it a training course for you.
That is correct, yes.
That's fantastic.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back here in just a moment here on the Kansas City Podcast. Well, will you look at this? Today's episode has been brought to you by Colony KC and the Rhino. On September 2nd, head to Colony KC for their grand opening of the Colony Handcrafted Ales. This is the brewery expansion led by their amazing brewmaster Rodney Beagle. Plus, the first 50 people through the door get a refillable pint-sized growler, which I believe is a small dog. Growler, like one of those little ones you put in your... Maybe not. Nope. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I believe it is a glass. And mark your calendars, because on November 11th, The Atlantic have relocated their EP release show to the Rhino. This show will be huge and is very likely to sell out. For more information, check out Colony KC at colonykc.com or on Facebook, and the Rhino at therhinokc.com or on Facebook as well. And there you have it. Back to the show. Welcome back to the show. Cole Limbrick here with Lucas Pfannenstiel.
Yes.
Did it right again. And Steve Richardson. Gentlemen, during the break, I went over and I tried to climb the warp wall. You gave me nothing but support. I got about 2/3 of the way up, and then I fell flat on my face. But I'm still okay. So if I'm woozy the rest of the episode, people know why.
Hey, you know what? You gave it a try, and that's all that matters.
That's all that matters, right?
If you keep coming back, you join
support.
us here at Apex on Mondays, I promise you, you will get this before the end of the year.
And I'm looking around here. There's like some other really weird contraptions. There's like these chains with the balls hanging at the end of them, like these. So I imagine you got to climb from each one to each one, and I'm just like my hands already hurt just looking at it. Right? there's lots of. If someone walked in here when it was really dark, I bet you they'd be kind of frightened.
Oh, absolutely. You're exactly right. It does look pretty intense.
Yeah, Phil does a great job about having a lot of different obstacles in the space that he has. He utilizes pretty much every facet of this gym that he can.
Yes, I would definitely come out and check out the Apex Climbing Gym. It is quite the place. This is pretty damn awesome. All right, gentlemen, it is time for one of our favorite parts of the show. It is time for the KC Quiz.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Let's do it.
All right, so the KC Quiz, you guys know how this works. Do you? You're going to find out now.
Absolutely.
I'm going to ask you some questions, some KC-related questions. Remember, you are playing for points. Since it's the two of you, the points are together.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So
I thought it was going to be a competition and
No.
you were going to let one of us win.
No. I want you two to combine together. You got to come up with the best answer. Now, remember, if I ask a question, you don't like the question, you can always say stupid question, okay? And then remember, folks, if you want to, you can tweet us at Kansas City Pod if you'd like your question added to the KC Quiz. All right, gentlemen, we're going to start out real quick here with a real big softball. Your favorite restaurant that is not barbecue. Favorite Kansas City restaurant that is not barbecue. Here we go. They're thinking about it. Go.
No, I mean, I can give you a million. I actually work in the restaurant industry. So the question is, to me, it's not always that simple.
Okay.
Because you can go almost any avenue with the direction that you like to go.
Give me a couple. I don't care.
I mean, one of my favorite, it's called Twisted Fresh. If you're in for a lunch, they have some of the best mahi tacos ever. It's incredible. It's got a nice little kick. Tastes really good. I mean, you can't go wrong. So that's my go-to. I eat there several times a week. So
very nice.
Yep.
Okay, Lucas, what you got?
All right, so I got a couple real quick, and my family and I, we do enjoy eating out every now and then. So these are some
Chuck E.
fun
Cheese,
places.
your big Chuck E. Cheese fan?
Absolutely. I mean, anytime I can get a competition in with the wife and kids, we're on it.
There you go.
So Garozzo's is a very popular choice of our family. It's actually the place my daughter goes for her birthday every year.
Very nice.
Stroud's,
Ooh.
even though not the
You were the first one that
healthiest,
said Stroud's on the show.
most nutritious location. It is just, as you guys know,
Yes.
I'm sure everybody hopefully agrees on this show.
Yes.
That it's just amazing.
Yeah.
And then what about Fritz's?
Fritz? Oh, yeah.
A little down home railroad hamburger for you and the family. So can't go wrong there.
There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so now we're going to switch it around. This question causes a lot of strife on the show. Favorite barbecue. What do you got?
Okay, again, it's two answers. See, this is
I love it, man.
I eat barbecue.
Steve is so analytical out there. He's like, man, I really got to think this through.
So just real quick.
So far, you're at 5 points. Though.
Well, awesome.
Okay.
So I was doing a pork training the other day. I work for a pork company, so I do a lot of pork stuff. And I had this question. Everybody asked me, what's the best barbecue in Kansas City? So Q39 is one of my favorites.
Okay.
The reason why, and if you ask the owner, he'll tell you to get the wings. So a lot of people don't think when you go to Q39
to get the wings.
But their wings, he will tell you, is one of the best things on their menu. And so you go there, you get their wings. It's incredible. They also have a brisket burger that is phenomenal. So for those kind of things, rib-wise, I mean, Joe's is ranked number one in the country for a reason. And they do really well, and their burn-ins are really good. So I usually eat there on Mondays. So those are my two. I can't give you really one.
Okay, well, that's fine.
yeah.
I'm just going to do minus 2 points.
I was going to say, we're going to go back down again. This is going to be pretty
right.
boring for Kansas City because I am a straight-up Z-man and French fry.
There you go.
And
Z-man
nobody
and
touches
French
my fries. I get them all to myself. And Kansas City Joe's is really just hands down for me.
And see, you're wrong because you have to get the onion rings at Joe's because the onion rings are incredible.
No, but if he's getting the Z-Man, it's already got the onion
It's
rings
got
on it.
built-in
You got to get
onion
the
rings.
extra onion rings. So you got to have somebody else go with you and get onion rings, and then you put them into a pile and you share the rings
Oh, I was
and
going to
fries.
say, if you knew our family, man, that's my wife gets the onion rings, I get the fries. I get to share her onion rings, but she does not share my fries.
All right, so here's a question that's very specific to you guys, actually. Where's your favorite place to go for a run? Like here in the city, where's your favorite place to like go for a run or maybe go work out, do something, like that?
Yeah, absolutely. So I hate running on the roads.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. With car traffic and just I just think it's boring. Absolutely.
Well, boring
It is.
too.
Well, no, I'm sorry. That's what I meant with car traffic was frightening. So absolutely. And then not only that, but on top of it being frightening, it's boring. And so I love to hit the trails, man. Anywhere I can. And when I say trails, I'm talking dirt, rock, mud, anywhere that I can get off road. So I'm a fan of Kill Creek Park. There's a place in Olathe that I really don't want to say the name because I don't want there's hardly anybody out there. But
Okay, we'll keep it quiet.
Yeah, Prairie Center Nature Trail is phenomenal. Those are some of my fun places. You got Swope Park, Shawnee Mission Park that have really, really nice trails to get out and run on. However, those are pretty darn popular, so they do get a lot of attention.
And mine is Wyandotte County Lake. If you're looking for somewhere who's got hills that will destroy your legs and help your endurance, if you're looking to get better, that's one to go because especially Kansas, for some reason, is flat. I don't know why, but it is. To find a good hill, Wyandotte County Lake's got it. And then I also do some heavy lifting. They've got a dam that you run up and down hill sprints, which is always a blast. So Wyandotte County Lake.
And just real quick on that, last Saturday, we were out there on a Saturday.
Yes,
and
yes.
a couple Saturdays
obviously
ago.
We're not recording this in the future
Yes,
or anything.
exactly.
We're live right now. Whenever you are listening to this live. But
Live.
Yes.
We actually had a combination workout with the Nebraska OCR racing group.
Okay.
So some of the Nebraska OCR racers came to Kansas City, and we had about 25 to 30 people out there running those hills, a good couple-hour workout. It was phenomenal. So not only do we work with our Kansas City teams, but we branch out and get the other teams as well. But as far as working out, not only getting out on trails, there's Apex Climbing Gym here, which we're at, is an amazing ninja gym. There's another ninja gym in town called the Chaos Course, which a lot of people work out at. And then some local gyms that we partner with, Got 'em Fit and Freedom Fitness, more weight style type gyms as well. So a lot of opportunities to work out here in Kansas City.
As soon as you say ninja gym, the first thing I think of is like, you're going to walk in and it's going to be like Beverly Hills Ninja with like Chris Farley and Tom.
That'd be pretty awesome. We should work
on
on
that.
that.
Guys like, yes. Welcome to Ninja Gym. All right, next question. Here we go. This one's a tough one. You can put in any order you want. Okay, there's no specific way to how you want to rank this, but you got to put the following three in order: Chiefs, Royals, Sporting.
Okay, well, I know mine. Mine's Chiefs, Sporting, Royals.
Okay.
But
okay.
I've been a Chiefs fan forever. I've got season tickets, so I'm out there.
Okay.
If you ever see the crazy guy that's out there at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning before a game, that's me.
That's Steve.
Yes, that's me.
All right, mine's pretty easy as well. It actually goes Royals, Sporting, Chiefs.
Okay.
So I played baseball my whole life, played at K-State, so I've been a huge baseball fan. Really enjoy the Royals, and we're really getting into soccer. My daughter loves soccer, so we've really started getting into sporting. And just to see the support that Kansas City gives them is amazing.
The Kansas City fans are like the craziest fans. Thick and thin, they always stick with it.
It's amazing how awesome our fans are. It's pretty cool to see people in town during seasons, especially obviously when we're winning.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome.
All right, here we go. Next one. Your favorite local event. Favorite Kansas City event, local event. You go out much?
Winefest.
Winefest.
Yes.
Hey now.
It's at Schlitterbahn.
Yeah.
And so basically you go out there, they've got a lot of different alcohol, so you've got different beers.
So you're drinking and then you go in the lazy river.
I wish they would let you in. If they would let me in, it'd be a lot more fun. It would shoot way to the top, but I enjoy that. So it's just it's a good fundraiser and have a lot of fun out there. So Winefest.
It's amazing. That's one of the events that I was going to say because we actually attend it every year. And it's on our calendar, and right after it's done, they start selling the tickets for the next year, and we work around it. So it's been a lot of fun.
That sounds incredible. All right, this is a Midwestern question, all right? Is it pop or soda? Oh, they both. Hold on. I just want to
We're
describe.
always looking at each other. So
They just looked at each other, just like, "Oh, man, that's a tough one. This is the toughest one I've heard."
Yeah. So here's my story on that. It's actually an amazing question.
It is.
I think the correct answer is pop.
Okay.
But I love to mess with people. I love to be different. So I always say soda because soda tends to get people going.
Right.
When you say, well, this is the way I answer the question. When I say soda, like, oh, it's not soda, it's pop. Right. And then I love just getting people going. But when you say pop, everybody's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I think the right thing's pop, but I just love to say soda.
Steve?
I'm actually going to throw a twist in there because if you go down south, they'll call everything Coke.
Coke, right.
Yes. So I actually do what Lucas does because I'm in sales, so I like to mess with people as well.
Yeah.
So I'll do the same thing. I'm like, oh, can I get a Coke? And they're like, oh, well, we had, and I'm like, aren't you going to ask me what kind? And like, what? And it just kind of gives
Wait,
you
there's something else besides that?
It gives you something to talk to people about. But yeah, I like to mess with people. Personally, I don't care. I use them interchangeably all the time.
Hey, hold on, Steve. We're going for points here. So did he get extra points for going with Coke, or does he need to answer the question correctly so we can get maximum points?
I'm giving
we're trying to win.
8 points for that.
Oh,
you added the Coke
That's
in
pretty
there.
good.
See?
There we go.
All right, here we go. This is a big one. What is Kansas City missing? You guys have gotten to travel around all over the place. What is Kansas City missing? What do we need?
It's funny you asked that because I've listened to your podcast and I've heard this question, and I've really struggled, and I was hoping, Cole, that you would not ask it. So we should have prepared a little bit better.
Well, you could always say stupid question.
Well, it's not a stupid question. I don't have a good answer.
Okay, it's the only way you're going to get out of it.
I've got it because I lived in
it.
Oklahoma City when the Thunder came there.
Okay.
And it changed the environment entirely. They're downtown. You got more people that came in. I would travel all over Oklahoma, and
so you want an NBA team.
People would drive 2 or 3 hours, and I don't even like the NBA if that tells you anything, because I think there's a lot of different reasons why. But I think we could support one. I'm always for a major sports organization coming in because it will bring a different fan base. It'll bring different travelers. It'll also bring people to go out and eat more, which is part of what I get paid to do. So selfishly,
you're looking out for your best
exactly.
interest, right?
Hey, I am nothing but honest when it comes to it. But I think an NBA team would be fun. We've got pretty much all the other major sports covered. I'm not a big hockey fan. I think hockey would be a little harder, but we do even have hockey. We don't have any basketball.
I agree, but I also don't agree that we don't have basketball because we have the Jayhawks.
See, as Steve sits here in his Wildcat shirt, and I've already mentioned that I went to K-State, so Cole's he's picking a fight. But
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to give you 5 points for that. Go ahead.
Can I answer what I don't think we need to start a little Kansas City debate?
Yeah.
So I travel for a living, so I'm always hitting up the airport.
Okay.
So if you're from out of town and flying through Kansas City, it sucks. It does. Not a lot inside. They're working on it, but I don't think we need a new airport. I love it the way it is. I can pull up to the parking lot 40 minutes before my flight and make it in on time before they even start boarding. So I love our airport system the way it is. I know it's not, the latest and greatest.
It's a
but
hot
for
topic right
Kansas
now.
City people, it is so easy.
All right, a couple final questions. Favorite local brew? Nothing? No? Stupid question?
Weston Brewery up north, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've got a lot of good ones. I remember when they first came out with their root beer that a lot of people, and then now like everybody and their mom has one. But yeah, I like that. So
perfect. 1 point. All right, here we go. Final question. This is the Google challenge. Of course, as you both know, I go into the Google machine and I type in a phrase, and you have to complete the phrase, okay? So I went to Google, and I was like, specifically, I typed in running is... Finish it up. Think about this. You got to be strategic. Running is. What does Google autofill when I type in running is into the Google machine? Here we go. There's a lot of points on the line.
I thought you were asking what we were going to say after that, because that would be a lot more interesting.
Well, you could say that too. I mean, you never know.
So we get to guess what running is.
According to Google, if I type in running is, what is the autofill that it's going to bring in? Now, it could be exactly what you think it is, or it could be something different. You have to think strategically about this. What do you think people are going to type, or is it what you could be the one that types it?
So I'll throw a couple guesses out there.
Yeah, throw some guesses out.
So I'm thinking that it could be ageless. Running is ageless.
Nope, you're off. Nope.
Running is healthy.
Okay.
No, I think you're off.
Running is for everyone.
Interesting.
Very interesting. I'm going to go the exact opposite, and I'm going to say running is difficult because I'm thinking people are looking at it and they're going, okay, running is or a good form of exercise.
Yeah.
Ooh.
What do you guys?
Or it could just say running is not for you, and would just crash it.
You know what? I'm going to have to award you some points. It is running is bad for you. You got all of it except for like one word. You were the closest that anyone has ever gotten on the Google chat. You really thought it out. All right, so let's add up some points here. 5, take the 3 divided by 4, 7.
I'm a math major, so I'm thinking like 55. I think we maxed it out.
I think the max amount of points you can get is 50 points, and you guys are at 47 points.
Yeah, there we go.
47 points.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, thank you for taking the KC quiz.
Yes.
Cole, that was awesome.
Thank you, Cole.
Sir.
All right, guys, we are nearing the end of our time here. We've talked a lot about a lot of different stuff today. Now is your time to shine. Give the folks of Kansas City your final, give them your plugs. Tell them where they can find you. Tell them what's coming up. We talked a lot about the Conquer the Gauntlet event coming up, the CTG-XTC Mega OCR coming up, and we will have a link on our page if you want to sign up for that. You never know. It could be someone out there that wants to do that. That'd be fantastic. You can go hang out with Lucas and Steve and party it up and run real far and all that type of stuff. So break it down for me, guys. Give the people some details of where they can find you.
Awesome, Cole. Thank you. So KCOCR, Kansas City Obstacle Course Racing. Find us on Facebook. We're in a Facebook group. It's just go to the groups and type in KCOCR and ask to join our page, and then we will include you on our team. And then we're also on Instagram, KCOCR_crew. That's CREW. So we are right now on Facebook groups and on Instagram. And like I said, it's just an amazingly fun group where we share training tips, gear tips, talk about races. We do have exclusive discounts that our group has here in Kansas City with some local gyms, fitness centers, running companies, things of that nature. And come join us for a workout. People are always working out, so come join our group. I'm going to run through a list of races real quick.
He's got a lot. Here we go.
Areas. I got my sheet out. So Rugged Maniac is coming to Kansas City September 9th. September 23rd, we've got a local new competition that involves endurance, strength, and skills called the Gideon Games. September 23rd in the St. Louis area in Wright City, Missouri, there's a permanent course called Battlegrounds.
Sounds frightening already.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a good one. The CTG-XTC, the Mega OCR event, is here in Bonner Springs September 30th. Come join us for that. And then the Fall Family Timber Challenge event in Bonner Springs is October 22nd. Once again, we're sitting here in Apex Gym. They have group workouts nightly, and they have a lot of ninja classes. So they've got open gym Monday through Fridays from noon to 10 p.m., Saturdays 10 to 6, Sunday 12 to 6. And, check them out on their Facebook page or come stop by. They've got drop-in rates, monthly rates, group rates, but just a lot of fun to be had here. Steve, what am I missing?
I think you did a good job, Lucas. You pretty well covered everything down. Like I said, just come look for us on Facebook, and we've got a couple of ladies that do a great job on our Instagram page. So it's a lot of fun. I know every time I go to look on that page, I'm like, oh, didn't know we did that. And I was even up in the picture for it. So, check those out. Come have some fun. Again, don't be scared. We've got every age group demographic that you can kind of think about, every skill level. Come out, have a good time, see what we're about. And you'll see we're just one big happy family.
Yeah, we at all these races, we have our tent. We set up a tent and a booth with a big KCOCR banner, so we'll be easy to find. Once again, my name is Lucas Pfannenstiel. My hashtag is Mohawks Win Races. If you see me at a race, I will be in tights, no shirt, in a big banging mohawk. So, and I'm not going to say I'm the loudest guy there, but it's going to be pretty close for somebody to compete with me. So I'm pretty You're not going to miss me, and nor are you going to miss Steve.
Yeah, if you come to a race, you'll definitely see me. I kind of stand out just a tad.
Just a tad. And he made like a small motion with his head, like just a tad.
So pretty much I am covered from head to toe in pink. So
right.
I run in bright pink. I stand out pretty well. come up, say hi, get people all the time. They'll go, oh, I saw you at the last race. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, because I'm wearing bright pink. I don't even think about it all the time.
Yep.
I run in and have a good time with it. So
yeah, we're not an intimidating group. We're all out for fun, and everybody wants to help everybody.
Very
so
nice.
Come find us, join us. We just want to grow obstacle course racing in Kansas City and be an avenue for people that want to be healthier and find somebody to train with. We just want to be here for everybody.
Very cool. Very cool. Gentlemen, I appreciate you being on the show. Remember, you can always check out our website, thekansascitypodcast.com. We're on Facebook at Kansas City Podcast and on Twitter at Kansas City Pod. You can always find me at Cole Lindberg. If you know how to use a Google, you could probably find me. Pretty easy to do. I also want to give a special shout-out to a friend of ours, Matt B. Davis, who runs the Atlanta podcast, but also does a lot of OCR stuff. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the show. This has been fantastic. I appreciate you coming and being here today.
cool. Thank you, Cole. Appreciate it.
Man, this is awesome. Thank you so much.
Very nice. See you guys next week. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.